In solo leveling, after a massive gate appeared in the sky, astonished pedestrians took photos of the gate covering the skies of Seoul. Dr. Belzer says that he warned about the magical power gathering in the skies and explains that the giant gate is just the beginning, as there will likely be similarly terrifying gates popping up in other countries soon. A man asks if he means that these abnormalities may happen in other places as well, to which he affirms. The man points out that the doctor has been studying the gates and malevolency for a while now and asks if there's any contingency plans. Belzer advises them to pray and hope that this event doesn't end in tragedy. Meanwhile, as Jin approaches the gate, he is halted at the entrance, calling it strange he cannot pass through and comparing it to that of a wall. He thinks that a normal wall would have given way, but a wall that not even a monarch can pass through. He wonders if the monsters inside are different from the ones they've seen so far. But no matter what, his family and friends are down there, so there's no way he's letting anything get by. Jin's phone rings, and he greets Jin Chul, who struggles to hear him clearly, and suggests he call back. But Jin says there is no need since he's just at a high altitude right now. He suggests that he should start calling Jin Chul chairman from now on, and he responds that he can call him whatever he wants. But he's still getting used to this and doesn't think he deserves the honor. Jin Woo asks if he looked into what he asked him to, and the chairman affirms, saying that he requested hunter associations from various regions to scan the entire region via satellite. But no other gate has appeared in any other part of the world. Jin asks if he means apart from the existing ones, and he confirms. Jin knows it's been 3 hours since this massive gate appeared and wonders what the odds are of no new gates appearing, concluding that it's no coincidence. The chairman explains their plan to evacuate civilians near the gate and asks Jin about his plans. Jin replies that he doesn't know what will happen tomorrow, but someone has to stay behind to plant apple trees. At the Hunter Association gymnasium, Jin slips all of Baru's attacks, playing limbo with his claws. Baru prepares another attack. However, Jin grabs his arm and questions if he's using his full power. Pulling back, Baru bows, asking how he could do that. But Jin says it's all right, as he wanted to get a little exercise, and states that he's the only one who can challenge him. Flattered, the general drops to his knees and accepts the compliment. Jin questions how his speech is improving so fast and asks if he's eaten a human. Brushing himself off and telling the ant to begin, the max-level general rank Baru lunges forth with an attack that Jin swiftly evades. Throwing a punch, Jin blocks that as well, while commending the ant's strength since becoming general rank. Baru attacks further, but the Shadow Monarch dodges, retaliating with a punch to the gut, while informing him that rank general refers to the leader of an army, and there can only be one. He says that once Igris and Greed reach the lieutenant general rank, they will quickly catch up to Baru's rank, and that if he doesn't want his glory stolen to work harder. Baru screeches before the two blitz around the room. Jin thinks that this still won't do, and even if Baru is one of his best soldiers, he won't last against the other monarchs. Just as Baru closes in, Jin redirects his attack, causing him to smash into the ground. Now, behind the ant, Jin hits him with a hook to the ribs and sends him crashing into a wall. Splattered like a true bug, he expresses his amazement of his king's strength and bows in reverence. Jin suggests Baru should stop watching historical shows for a while, and Baru looks with puppy eyes while healing himself. Looking around, Jin realizes they should start cleaning up the mess, and tells the chairman that before getting too excited, Jin has around 300 hard-working ants. At a Seoul hotel, Laura asks Thomas Andre if he's leaving, to which he questions how he could leave after something so big and beautiful has appeared. She questions its beauty, and looking out the window, Thomas explains that everything that makes the heart flutter is beautiful. A fire-breathing dragon, that big gate, and Hunter Sung's power. Everything has a certain beauty. He adds that everything that he likes is beautiful, which is why he wants to possess it. Laura claims he finally found something that he can't have, and Thomas agrees, saying he never knew something like this would appear. Andre mentions there's no gate to return home to anyway, but Laura says that the Hunter's Bureau is getting worried. However, Thomas finds it funny, assuring her that there's no safer place than beside Jin Woo. He says that if they don't stop it here, there'll be no safe place to return to anyway, which is why he wants to witness it, whether this moment turns out to be the end of humanity or a new beginning. This arc continues with a major city evacuation next time. Man questions if that's Jin Woo, as everyone begins noticing him walking alongside Cha Hai-in. Cha blushes as the Riz Master says that he thought there would be fewer people due to the current situation. Looking at him, she asks if he likes these kinds of places. He says that he doesn't, but he wanted to come at least once. She asks why he brought her to a place that he wants to visit, to which he replies that she's the only friend he has. Confused, he reminds her about what she said in front of the weird statue in the double dungeon. Remembering, she blushes and asks if he heard that. Jin says that he could hear her clearly and has better hearing than the average person. Cha inquires about the identity of the strange dungeon, and he says that whenever he's sorted out his thoughts, he'll tell her about it. So he'll keep it to himself for now. Understanding, but arguing that his shadow soldiers make them stand out more, Jin says it's all right as long as they ignore them. Reflecting, she realizes that this is the first time she's gone out for fun since she became a hunter nearly 2 years ago, and thinks that it's different with Riz Woo. Jin asks her if she wants to ride the roller coaster, and she agrees. He asks about the other games as well, to which Mommy Cha also agrees. The Rizzler then asks if she wants to try everything, and unable to resist his Riz, she agrees to his suggestion. He thinks that he wasn't the only one who wanted to come to this place, and invites her to ride them all. They ride a roller coaster, a drop tower, and walk through a haunted house. While eating, Jin Woo asks Cha if she's getting bored, to which she says no, and that she's having fun. However, he points out that she didn't scream or cry even once, causing him to guess that rides like this are too boring for an S-rank hunter. Commenting on the rides being a bit slow, she agrees. He gives her the ultimate Riz smile before asking her if they should try riding something more exciting. Wink, wink. Far in the sky, a shadow bursts through the clouds, and Kaisel flies into the sunset. Asking how it is, she responds very fast and really high. Smiling, she adds that it's beautiful. Looking out, she asks why he chose the amusement park when he can do something like this, to which he replies that that amusement park is where the gate that took his dad appeared, so he wanted to go there at least once. Thanking him, the Riz between them escalates as she tells him that she's been meaning to thank him properly since he's helped her so much over the years. The Monarch of Riz adds that there's something he'd like to show her. As the sun sets on a destroyed city and day turns to night, the couple sit in the grass stargazing. Amazed, she looks over to Jin before leaning on his shoulder as they watch a shooting star. This arc continues. As people try to escape the predetermined disaster, the city of Seoul becomes jammed with cars that are unable to move. Meanwhile, Jinna asks her mother if they're evacuating, to which she replies by pointing out that it would be better for them to choose where they die, and says that they haven't been issued an official evacuation notice. Irritated, Jinna argues that she is about to become a college student, can finally drink, and am going to live by herself, and that her life is only just starting. Her mom agrees and says that Jin Woo will protect them, just like her father. All the while, Jin sits on a roof, reflecting on how he can't sense them, and questions where the hell they are. He thinks about how he needs to stop the gate, but questions if he's capable of doing so without any casualties, adding that he has too much to lose. Looking at his phone, he wonders who to spend his final moments with, his eyes fixating on friends. Elsewhere in a dojo, Song Chi-yul tells Cha Hai-in that there's an obstinate hesitance in her swordsmanship, and comments that he's worried it's due to some fear she harbors in her heart. As she turns to her vibrating phone, Mr. Song adds that it's only natural to be afraid, and he'd have lost an arm if he'd been facing the same monsters. Noticing Cha on her phone, the master realizes that he's been yapping and attributes it to her not answering the phone, apologizing and excusing herself to take the call. She finishes, turning back to Mr. Song and blushing while telling him that an urgent appointment came up and she needs to get going. Master Song allows it. Realizing it has to do with the Rizzler, he smirks. Shit's about to get romantical. Outside the Hunter Association, a man thinks that the gate will be opening within a few days, and as a B-rank hunter, he has to keep his guard up. Suddenly, he bumps into someone. Looking up and questioning who he is, the beastly Monarch towers over the hunter. Spectators wonder if there's going to be a fight and comment on how he's even bigger than Ma Dong-wook. The B-ranker insists he apologize and tells him that if he did something wrong, he needs to apologize. But before he can finish, the Monarch lunges at him with his teeth. Other hunters stand stand in awe as the beast spits out his blood. Grinning with blood-stained teeth, he smashes the floor, sending the hunters flying. A hunter crashes into a building, and before he can recover, a damn Kia comes out of nowhere, splattering the guy. As the dust settles, he demands they heed his words and announces that as of now, he will start hunting them, using his teeth and nails to rip their weak flesh apart. Proclaiming himself the king of the beasts, the beast monarch, he invites any challengers. Meanwhile, Hunter Cha quenches her thirst from a river stream when Jin Woo shares knowledge of a fine hotel for breakfast and invites her to join him, to which she agrees. He summons Kaisel, causing Cha to seek clarification about the restaurant's location. The Riz Master assures her that if he runs, it'll take a mere 5 minutes, which makes Cha wonder just how many kilometers he can run in 5 minutes. The two take to the skies. Choi Jong-in exits his car and inquires about the evacuation status, to which a hunter responds that they're still evacuating people inside the building. He asks about the guilds present, and the hunter replies that both the Fiend Guild and the White Tiger Guild are deployed. And since hunters from everywhere are gathered on site, he expects the beast's subjugation will be sooner rather than later. He thinks that the Hunters Guild just needs to focus on evacuation. However, Choi isn't convinced. He pieces that Thomas Andre, a national-level hunter, is currently facing off against the magic beast, but this immense presence feels even worse than the one he felt on Jeju Island. Wondering what kind of monster the Goliath is battling, he gazes at the sky. Meanwhile, the beast flies through the air before crashing into a building from one of the Goliath's serious series punches. As dust accumulates, the beast climbs up the inside of the building and rockets out. Unable to dodge, the monarch headbutts Thomas's stomach, causing his feet to dig into the concrete. But maintaining his balance, Andre seizes the beast's body and takes him to Suplex City, slamming him headfirst into the earth. While looking down his skirt, the beast leg strikes Thomas's skull and hand springs onto his feet as Thomas flies through the air. The monarch grins as the National Authority hunter regains his footing and uses reinforcement. All the while, Baek Yoon-ho and the Hunters Guild arrive at the subjugation site. And just as he asks if everyone's ready, something crashes through the building in front of them. In shock, he questions if that thing is the magic beast that was reported to be on site. Looking back, he realizes that that person must be the rumored Goliath, Thomas Andre. The guild cheers for the Goliath, but Thomas orders the dumbasses to take cover. The beast grins eerily as Baek transforms, noting this isn't a normal monster, and he shouldn't transform as that, but he stops as they stand before each other. The monarch looks on as Baek stares at the floor, comparing them to a giant wolf and a far-outclassed tiger. Baek, having the sixth sense of an animal, detransitions in hope to not be recognized as prey. Goliath and the beast square off as Baek walks off, unable to even make eye contact. This battle continues. Raising his arm and activating his telekinesis, the beast picks up the cars and hurls them at Andre, who effortlessly deflects them. Catching a car, he's suddenly encumbered by the vehicles. However, the beast is unexpectedly pulled as Thomas's arm sticks out while using his own telekinesis. As the monarch closes in, the Goliath bursts from the cars and smashes the monarch into the ground. Raising his fist, he follows up with a flurry of punches. However, he questions this feeling. The feeling of uneasiness that's closing in on him, the feeling that he's not going to win. As he prepares to deliver the final blow, his hand is seized by the beast, who, while transforming, ridicules how a mere puppet of a fragment could be so powerful. The beast says that he's seen enough of his petty tricks and crushes his fist, alarming Thomas. The beast monarch questions if he's afraid and slashes him while asking if he's despairing. The Hunters Guild watches in horror as the monarch notices something and grabs at Thomas's shadow while calling it a rat. He pulls out a soldier of the abyss and questions what it was doing hiding in the shadows before destroying it. The beast asks if they should continue as Thomas seemed confident in his strength. However, his armor bursts and Thomas Andre emerges from behind, putting the beast in a rear naked choke and questioning who he thinks he is babbling on so arrogantly. Gripping with all his might and screaming, he snaps the beast monarch's neck. His neck dangling, the beast's eye suddenly looks over and his head rapidly eventually wraps back around. He clutches Thomas's face and flings him around, smashing him into the ground, and states that he's sorry to tell him, but he's starting to feel hungry again. Out of nowhere, a magical blast makes impact with the Monarch exploding. Leonard Nierman stands in the other direction, saying that he won't let the beast do as he pleases. This battle carries on.